Next on the news at 10 is business news with Adeshwa Josh.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Business News. I am Adeshwa Josh. The Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun, has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to improving the socio-economic fortunes of the state. Governor Amosun, who addressed state government officials during the Treasury Board meeting on the 2016 budget, explained that the proposal would be largely financed through aggressive internally generated revenue.
This gathering is meant to give insight into the proposed 2016 budget for Ogun State being drawn up in reality with the current economic trends.
Statutory allocations to be under pressure in 2016 relative to 2015. So it is imperative that we focus aggressively on our IGR and the revenue targets that the individual ministries and agencies have set become critical for the successful execution of this budget.
2016, we're looking at increasing our demand for funding to about 2.4 billion, and if fully deployed, should be on target to meet our revenue of 450 million.
According to the state governor, the budget proposal could only be a success if state government officials are ready to embrace prudence and accountability in the face of the dwindling revenue from the federal government.
The least resources to get the best possible results. In doing that, all of us must be ready to do the work. Try and eliminate all the mistakes, block all loopholes. Areas where money that from the revenue should come to government covers are not getting there, we should block all of those, we should collect all of those.
Rural development, education, security and completion of ongoing capital projects across the state are expected to top the agenda in the proposed 2016 budget.
The Central Bank of Nigeria will hold its 247th meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee next week. Ahead of the meeting, market watchers are projecting the committee may likely ease its contractionary stance and reduce the monetary policy rate. Meanwhile, domestic investors are not the only ones keen about the outcome of this meeting, as foreign investors, particularly those in Europe, also have their eyes on the outcome of the meeting. They also expect the rates to remain unchanged. Meanwhile, the interbank market is expected to take a cue from the outcome of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting next week. Lending rate rose to 1% on secured lending on Friday from 0.5% previously on the back of foreign exchange and treasury bills purchases. The secured open buyback rose to 1% from 0.5% last week, far below the central bank's 13% benchmark interest rate, and secured overnight placement traded at 1.5% against 1% last week. And it's been a whole week of bloodletting at the Nigerian equities market as key indicators ended the week in negative territory. The all-share index ended Friday's session down 0.26% at 28,131.28 points, with a lower market capitalization of 9.67 trillion naira. Seplat was the day's heaviest loser with 3.43%. Okomo Oil and Oando also lost 4.18% and 9.62% respectively. On the other hand, Nestle led the gainers list with a 0.86% increase. It's followed by Access Bank and AD as E-Transact. Financial stocks continue to dominate the activity chart, with Access Bank, Diamond Bank and FBN Holdings in the top 3 category. At the end of the day's session, volume came in at 142.61 million shares, valued at 1.05 billion naira in 2,528 deals. And that's business news this hour. The news at 10 continues in a moment.
lot of surprises in the world of sports. Time now for us to have details with Ayotunde Balogun.
Time now for some sports news. Nigerian forward Al Farouk Amin has helped Portland Trail Blazers beat the Los Angeles Clippers 102 points to 91 in the National Basketball Association game. Now, the D-Tigers player scored 10 points and grabbed 12 rebounds in 35 minutes of action. Damian Lillard led all scorers with 27 points, while Blake Griffin scored 21 for LA in the losing effort. Barcelona have opened a 6-point lead over rivals Real Madrid after rolling to a 4-0 win at the Santiago Bernabeu in the Spanish La Liga, where Barca took the lead on 11 minutes through the Uruguayan international Luis Suarez. Neymar, the Brazilian, made it 2-0 shortly after the break, and a stunning goal from Andres Iniesta put the champions in charge early in the second period. Suarez added a fourth in the 74th minute to wrap up victory for Luis Enrique's side in front of a stunned Bernabeu crowd. And now to the English Premier League in the day's tea time kickoff. Liverpool beat Manchester City 4-1 with Coutinho, Firmino and Martin Skrtel amongst the goal scorers. In other games, West Bromwich Albion defeated Arsenal by 2-1. Diego Costa's second half strike helped Chelsea to a 1-0 victory over Norwich City. Everton beat Aston Villa 4-0. Jamie Vardy scored for the 10th straight game as Leicester beat Newcastle 3-0. Stoke defeated Southampton 1-0. Swansea and Bournemouth played out a 2-2 draw, while Manchester United edged Watford 2-1 in the first game of the day. A world number one Novak Djokovic is through to the final of the ATP Tour World Tour Finals after a straight sets win over Rafa Nadal. Djokovic beat his Spanish rival 6-3, 6-3 in 79 minutes in the first semi-final at the O2 Arena in London. Now, the three-time defending champion will face Roger Federer in Sunday's championship decider after the Swiss maestro beat Stan Wawrinka 7-5, 6-3 in the second semi-final.
Set and match, Djokovic. 2 sets to love. 6-3, 6-3.
And that's a wrap in sports news. Sulaiman will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
Malian security forces are hunting for 3 suspects connected to the attack on a hotel in the capital Bamako on Friday, in which 19 people were killed. 2 militants were also killed after special forces stormed the hotel, freeing dozens of trapped guests. President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta has declared a state of emergency and 3 days of national mourning. Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb and its affiliate Al-Murabitun said they carried out the attack. The Prime Minister of Belgium, Charles Michel, says the decision to raise the terror alert level in Brussels to the highest level was taken due to fears that there might be an attack there, like the one that happened in Paris last week. Some of the attackers who killed 129 people in Paris lived in Brussels. Leading suspect Salah Abdel Salam is believed to have gone back to Belgium, and a huge manhunt is underway to find him. The Brussels metro is closed till Sunday, and people have been told to avoid crowds. These include shopping centers and concerts. The authorities have also recommended that large events, including football matches, be cancelled.
Belgium raised the alert status for its capital Brussels to the highest level and shutting down its subway and warning the public to avoid crowds because of a serious and imminent threat of an attack. This comes a week after the Paris attacks carried out by Islamic State militants, of whom one suspect from Brussels is at large and said by authorities to be highly dangerous. Belgian federal prosecutors say that investigators had found some weapons at the home of a person charged on Friday with terrorism offences related to last week's attacks in Paris.
The threat is sufficiently serious and imminent in order to have a degree 4 on the scale of analyze of threat. So it is a serious and imminent threat. Otherwise, our Center for Analyze of Threats would not have qualified the situation as 4 on a scale of 4.
Brussels was placed on the top level 4 in the government's threat scale after a meeting of top ministers, police and security services.
And we have sent also a message to the population to be vigilant because we have some precise and immediate information about possible terrorist attacks, and certainly in Brussels. So that's the reason why we have taken a lot of new measures to organize the securization of the country, to organize maybe some precise measures for the transportation system, like the subway in Brussels.
The government's crisis centre says they're advising the population to avoid places where a lot of people come together, like shopping centres, concerts, events or public transport stations wherever possible. Officials have declined to give details of the ongoing investigation that led authorities to raise the level of alert to the highest possible.
And the main news again, counting of votes has commenced as the people of Kogi State await the verdict of who would be their next governor out of the 22 candidates. The federal government has triggered the process of returning displaced persons from Northeast who have been seeking refuge in Abuja back to their states. That's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching.